All right, everyone, welcome along. Week 2. So last week we had a look, didn't we, at the concept that metrics are something that exists within the Power BI service and that are going to really leverage our ability to do more with our data. But what does that mean? How can we actually explore these? What can we do with metrics? And how, more importantly, do we set them up? So here I am, Power BI service. This is my Power BI homepage, same as you guys will have in your Power BI environment. But where do I find metrics? How do I know what's going on with them? It's simple enough, actually. They're over there on the left-hand side, and you've got a button marked metrics, a little trophy on it. If we go to metrics, it'll show you any metrics that you've got set up. So you can see I've got a few set up here, and a scorecard if you've got any set up already. For you guys, you probably have a blank screen. I don't understand what I need to do. So you're going through and you're going to go and create a new scorecard is the first thing you'd need to do. So we can click new scorecard. Okay. I'm going to go to my scorecard where I've already got some stuff just because that's easier for what we're discussing. But if you went to new scorecard, you'd have a very similar experience to what we're going to have now. Okay. So I'll go to our England Food Hygiene scorecard. What I've got, as you can see, there are 2 core metrics that I've got in terms of the number of businesses and the average hygiene of those businesses. What we're starting to do as well is you have the idea in metrics of sub-metrics. So what goes in to promote those to make them work? Now, this is one people can struggle with in terms of what does it mean? So your metrics will start like your KPIs. You've got KPIs out there. You've got as your core business performance indicators. And each core performance indicator, so each key performance indicator or KPI should have underneath it a number of critical success factors. So actually what is going in to make that work? What's also validating it to make sure that it's a genuine KPI and a genuine performance measure that's measuring success and not something that's being broken to make it work. So KPIs, you've got the idea. KPIs here and then success factors underneath it. You can build up lists and lists, pages and pages of these as you go through what the core things are going on with our business. The other thing we've got is these are assigned to somebody. So these have an owner. There's somebody who's next on the block, as it were, yeah? So this is the person who, if we were looking at a racy side, these would be the person who is responsible or accountable for it, probably. So in terms of actually who's accountable for making sure this happens, right? Responsible being obviously the person who's doing it. Your CSFs, your critical success factors, your sub-metrics are probably the ones that you would assign to those lower down people who are responsible. The other thing you get is you've got a status of it. So these are on time or on track is what we've put here. We've got progress towards it. And we've also got a trend. So if I click on this one, the number of businesses, which has been running for the longest, okay? And you can see even here, I'll tell you what, you can see, if I can, over here, so duck down a bit, what we can see is that there's a nice trend here over time, going from the start of this being set up, way back in 2022, all the way through to now. And we can see there's a nice big bit in the middle, which is where it stopped working and I was too busy doing other things to fix it. Okay, but suddenly I've got trending and I can go back to any day when this is in history and we can see actually how many businesses did we have in our environment. Again, nothing in our data set, like we said last week, nothing in our data set ties up with this. This is a completely different way of doing it. This is snapshots taken in the Power BI service. So we've got no trending in our data set. This is all coming from this feature. I can also zoom in a particular area. So I can zoom in here. I can choose to see, well, what would the target have been? Okay. All the things are there. The last thing that you have is check-ins, right? Now, this is the bit for me that is the game changer around this. So what we normally do and what we often get involved with clients, they want to know, or they have a use case where someone is building charts, copying and pasting them into PowerPoint, and here we go, and then that gets sent to a manager who then adds their comments to it, or even they just send out an email. Can you give me your comments for the week? And then they have to send them the chart, and then they get the comments back, and then they put everything onto a PowerPoint slide. Lovely. We've got it all here. It's all there. Okay? If I want to look at how many businesses there are and what the KPIs are, what the progress is, I can scroll down. I can see historically what's been written, what's going on. Each check-in event is there, and we've got a date for it, what the value was, what the comment was for it as well. So if you imagine coming towards month end, or just after month end, your message will be saying, you need to update your comments. They'll go in, they check in their metrics that they've got, checked in. We can see the comments. We could go in our board meeting, rather than me having to produce slides, we can go here and we can look and we can see, all right, what's going on with this particular area? Okay. We can expand down our hygiene and we can see here, London, for example, is really low. So I can say, well, what's going on with London? And this is then where the next bit comes through, because if I'm interested in saying, well, what's happening with London? For all I can see, it's going up slightly in that it's gone from 4.426 to 4.428. I can click on here and it will take me to a Power BI report page based on that KPI. Okay, so here we are, Power BI. This is the page for London, which is what we were looking at. We can see the summary of it. This is how I've built it, but you could do differently. So the question then comes, how do I build all this? So we build it really simply. It's from a scorecard. So remember, for you guys, you would have clicked new scorecard and it will take you straight into an edit view like this, okay? I've gone into the edit view. Here we go. We can see on the right-hand side, you'll have the option of creating a new metric, okay? What I want to do though, is let's expand on some of these. So we can go on here, we can say we're going to create a new sub-metric for here. We can create East Counties. Nope, not countries, counties. East Counties. I'm going to be the one who's responsible for it, or tell you what, let's make somebody else responsible for it. I don't want to do it. Let's make Jake responsible for it. Our current value is going to be connected to data. So this is where it starts to make sense. I'm going to choose to connect it to my food hygiene report, not to any of the other reports. We'll hit next, and it will bring me to the report page. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a filter to East Counties. Okay. And we're looking at number of businesses, aren't we, this one? So we're going to click number of businesses. You can see the filters that are applied against it, the measure that it's using, and we'll choose connect. Okay. And I've got 47,000. So what I'm saying is for a target, let's say, why don't you go to 48,000 as a manual one? And I'm going to say it's on track. We don't need to set any rules up for it. And we expect the due date to be, let's put this on the 1st of July, like everyone else's are. And we'll hit save. Okay. That's added another thing for us. Okay. Or another sub-metric. Under the average hygiene, let's do the same. So let's go create a new sub-metric under here. This is going to be average hygiene. East Counties. Okay, I'll leave it with me. Going to connect it to the data again. Food hygiene. Next. Let's filter down to East Counties. We're going to pick average hygiene. We get the summary, all the filters that are applied to it. We can click continue. What we've done for all of these is we've set the target to be 4.7. So it's already above target, which is great. And then we're using rules for it. Okay, so this is an example where we can use a rule. So we can set the status based on rule. So what I've said is where it's greater than, say, 4.6. Let's have it as on track. Otherwise, at risk. Okay? You could build those lists up further, you could experiment more. And then just behind me is the save button. So I'm just going to click save. For the rules, set the same, 1st of July, and save that. You'll see it'll go through, it'll calculate, it's marked that as on track because it's over 4.6. Okay? I can look at this and say, let's check this in. Or well, this one's Jake's. I'm not going to do that to Jake, poor lad. Come here. Oh. Look at the details of it. I'm going to check it in. I'm going to add a comment to it. This area is already well on track, Okay. Should we say? And then save that. And we can see we've now got comments against that and against London average food hygiene. We're getting to the point where we can see there are comments. We can see there's flags to show me, oh, there's a new comment to look at. There's a number of comments to look at. It's all tying that together really simply and really easily so that I can see, if we come over here slightly, we can see the trending across time for all of them based on how it's built, and we can see what's happened. For the new ones that I've just created, you can see there's no trend. That's the issue. This is the rub, as it were, with this. Because this is created all within the Power BI service, day one, and when you first set up your scorecard, there's no trending. And that's where I think lots of people struggle with metrics as a concept. So what do you reckon then? Okay? Metrics will allow you to build up quite complicated rule sets and functions using a combination of data out of your reports, but also you can use manual values. So you can start to actually build the two together and really track what's happening. It's not as a problem if you've got something, well, do you know what? We haven't got an automation on it yet. You know, we haven't brought it into our main IT system. We haven't done something. We've got a system coming in. So for example, you were looking at your business change. You might have a business change list that at the moment is just quite a manual thing. And you might think, well, we're going to put that in as a power app because everyone loves power apps. They're great. They're awesome. We can do loads with them. Once it's in as a power app, you can then have a list of how many are open from a report. You can do lots of other things, but you can also start to tailor and build up report pages to support those KPIs and those success factors that are going to exist underneath them. Because everything then all ties together and comes in a single point, it means it's so much easier for anybody to actually explore and see, understand exactly what is going on across the piece. Okay? Everyone can see how that report is built. Everyone can see, well, what happened? That trend's going the wrong direction. Click the report, show me the report view, and suddenly there it is. Okay? So if we were using metrics, now suddenly potentially I'm not having to build a PowerPoint deck each and every month for my senior leadership team to see and peruse. We can simply go to this scorecard. We could potentially have departmental scorecards built that everyone can look at. We've then also got the ability, should there be a, oh, that looks funky, we can click to view the report. So issue one, I don't have to build that report anymore. Great, that's one saving I've got. Issue two is going to be around AOB items. If, you built the report normally, oh crap, what's happened here? I don't understand. Go find out, tell me next time. I'm not doing that because we can click the link, see the report, see more information about it. That probably is where I would have gone. And probably in the time we would have spent documenting and capturing what an AOB item would be, we could actually have explored what that AOB item result would have been, and we've dealt with it straight away. So that makes a huge difference to any company because suddenly we've got data on hand for people to see almost immediately. We've also got the ability then to prevent us from having to go and be looking 2, 3, or even 4 report cycles back with AOB items. Yeah? Think about it. So I hope we've enjoyed that. We looked at metrics here. Okay, what we'll do next week is we'll look at actually starting to fold in the Power Automate side of this to actually trigger people to give a comment, but also, is there a way of recording a response? So getting me to send in an email and have it populate that KPI or that metric that I'm looking at today. Okay? So don't forget, support the channel, like and subscribe down below. Take care. Ta-da.